particular story happened back in January, but they just secured convictions for 6 now former Mississippi cops who were called by a neighbor in this neighborhood who was concerned that 2 black men were staying the night at a white woman's house.
I had to stop it because understand something. You Europeans, that is the problem. Calling us, the American people, black. That is 1866 black codes. That is Jim Crow law. That is slave codes. So if you wonder why the police, especially the European police, act the way they act, it's because of you. It's because of you. The government created 1866 black codes so that the police can get away with doing what they're doing to us. So that the police can have qualified immunity because the government is saying that we are slaves. The 14th Amendment, artificial person. The government is saying we are property of the United States. That's what these politicians are saying. And that's what you are saying every time you classify us, the American people, as black or African. You are treasonous. That is against Article 6 of the Constitution. You do not have the First Amendment right to strip us of our culture, of our names, of our land. That's a violation of Article 6 of the Constitution. So, when you say you don't know why these policy and code enforcers, aka peacekeepers, are doing what they're doing, it's because of 1866 black codes in the 14th Amendment. Legal person, that's a corporation, if you don't know. That's why. And you're helping them. You're helping them commit treason and genocide against the American people on the American people's soil. You have been lied to, and you're pushing the lies. And that's why all of this is going on. It's called genocide, Europeans.
Then this goon squad was dispatched and ostensibly kidnapped 2 black men and tortured them for hours at a time.
Yeah.
And it didn't get enough press, and that's why we're going to talk about this, and we'll go on in more detail about why this story is so important, other than what is obvious.
Well, and let's read from reporting from ABC, just because you mentioned this part of the story, Jesse. So the reporting says a white neighbor phoned Rankin County Deputy Brett McAlpin and complained that 2 black men were staying with a white woman inside a Braxton home. McAlpin told Deputy Christian Dedmond, who texted a group of white deputies so willing to use excessive force they called themselves the Goon Squad, "Are y'all available for a mission?" Dedmond asked. So remember, these are cops. A lot of them narcotics investigators. One is a lieutenant. One is a deputy. These are people who have power. They're imbued with power by the state, by the government, to go into people's homes, to arrest people, and this is how they are behaving. They have a little nickname for themselves, and they are known for using excessive force and not reporting it.
Now, the reason I think this story is important is because of the fact that so many people push back and say, well, it's only a few bad apples, and most cops are good people, and I would push back against that. Of course, they are probably good people, but they're bad cops. I don't even. It's such a slippery topic to even talk about. If you are, first of all, Rankin County, Mississippi is like 150,000 people. It's a small area. This is a small sheriff's department. And if you can find five cops willing to kidnap and torture two dudes because they are of a different race than the woman at whose house they're staying, that.
Then just imagine what's going on in these big major cities. Just imagine how many goon squads are in all of these major cities: California, New York, Chicago, Miami. Yeah. Just imagine all the goon squads they got that don't report excessive abuse. Yeah. Well, we know it. You know what I'm saying? We know it. They don't do it to y'all. They don't do it to the Europeans. They only come in the Americans' communities and commit these heinous crimes. And they get away with it with qualified immunity because they've been convinced that we're black. We're from Africa. We come from slavery, which is a total lie. And if we did, why would you continue to abuse us? If you think that we come from abuse, slavery, then why would you get a job and continue the abuse? Because you're insane. You're sick. And you're delusional. You're pure evil. That's why.
It's a remarkable problem. And then think about the rest of the sheriff's department who know these dudes, who know how they act, know how they think, know how they talk about black people, and they didn't do anything. We had to find out because of
black people, black people, black people. That is the most disgusting thing you can call somebody. That's the most nastiest, disgusting, trifling thing you can ever call a people. Is a color, especially a death color. Black. Nothing. They don't exist. You are treasonous. I as an American, I hate anyone who spews the hate speech of calling us black. That's hate speech. And as an American, understand this. As an American, when I hear someone call us black, I know that that's hate speech. I know that that's calling us a slave. C19736715 El Royale. I am American. So whenever I hear someone call us black or African, I know you're committing treason and genocide. I know what you're doing. You're saying we're nothing. You're saying we don't exist. You're pure evil. That's hate speech. Understand this. This is to the world. C19736715 El Royale of In the Gods We Trust Ministry, saying that we are black or African American is treasonous and genocide against the American people. That's hate speech. Understand that. FCC. The fuck? hate that black shit. Say it to me in my face. Call me black or African. And I'm going to do something to you that you will not like, European. Understand that. The day is coming to where you're going to get hurt severely for calling us black or African, for using 1866 slave codes, Jim Crow law, black codes against us. Understand that. We are not 14th Amendment legal persons. We are not black. We are not African. We are American. The Americans, to be specific. European.
This torture and kidnapping, that there were this many people in one single department in Mississippi that were a problem. That's why we're talking about this.
You are
Right,
a problem.
and the details from insider reporting are very, very disturbing. So let's start just with how the attack began. Quote, Dedmon warned the men to work easy in case of cameras, meaning to knock on the door rather than break it down, the complaint said. Dedmon also told the men no bad mugshots, which means they had the green light to use excessive force on parts of the body not captured in a mugshot. Later that day, the officers barged into the home of Michael Jenkins and Eddie Terrell Parker. They didn't have a warrant, and they entered through a carport door because the front door had a security camera, the complaint says. The officers handcuffed both men and tased them several times before Dedmon shot his gun into the wall and demanded they tell him where the drugs were. While Jenkins and Parker insisted they did not have drugs, the officers began calling the men racial slurs and told them to, quote, stay out of Rankin County and, quote, go back to their side. Rankin County is the suburbs of Jackson and is 74% white. Hinds County, where Jackson is located, is 72% black, according to the U.S.
Black.
Census.
Now, this
Black.
is the stuff
Fuck you
of
for calling us
Hollywood
black.
movies and what took place in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 40s and 30s and 20s. This is sundown town type of shit that we're talking about here. This is go back to your side. You shouldn't be here in the white area of this.
No. That's 1866 black codes. Understand that. That's slave codes. That's classifying the American people as black and then committing heinous acts of treason, genocide against them. That's what it is. I don't care what you believe. I don't care what you think. I'm American and I know what's going on. Department of Justice, you are treasonous. North Atlantic Treaty Organization, you are treasonous. United Nations, you are treasonous. Yes, you are. This is truth. This is facts coming from an American who's living it, living the treason. Nothing is over Article 6 of the Constitution. You cannot reclassify the American people as black and African and then start committing genocide against them. You are insane. 100% totally insane.